Hi, Alosh Shalinov here. So today I'd like to answer over 30 quality questions that our subscribers have asked a couple of weeks back about off-the-grid living and water solutions, as well as a few other interesting self-sustainability questions. So to start off, the first question is, how long will it take me to get off the grid? Well, this is a tricky question because it all depends on how much bucks you have to throw at it, or if you don't have the bucks, then how much time are you willing to put into it? I've had 150 grand now. I'd have my house totally off the water and solar grid, and that would be enough for our family of 3 with share baths. So it is a slightly conservative use of water, and obviously all our grey water is irrigating the vegetable garden behind me, doing really well. Second question is it possible to be off the grid in a suburbia? I believe the answer to that is yes. I have posted a link a couple of weeks back on a house that's producing a lot of money on the tiniest plot in suburbia whilst being totally off the grid. So definitely, it's all about slight changes and thinking, slight changes in your outlets of water, slight changes on how you use your energy, and definitely off-the-grid living in a suburbia is totally possible. In a suburbia, if you have 1,000 square meters, you could definitely live off the grid. And I have visited my friend Tony Lopez last year, and we have done a video, and more videos will be coming where we'll revisit him again. You have to want to do it. I guess anything is possible if you really want to do it. Third question or statement is water is a limited resource. Yes, it is, but I also believe that there is more than enough of water on our planet. We're living on a blue water planet. Really, we have to think water abundance in order to bring that abundance of water or abundance of anything into our life. So there is so much water that comes down in a single rainstorm in Johannesburg. It is more than the municipality of Johannesburg ever will need. Is in one season we have that much water coming down. So the trick is to catch it and store it, not just in tanks but also in the ground. It's the main 3 principles of permaculture water catchment is catch, store and infiltrate. Infiltrate it, you let your ground absorb the water through simple earthworks. Mulching mulching is a very big one, and also obviously the earthworks, trying to create little volcanoes around trees versus humps, and so on. But water is not a finite resource. We have more than enough water on this planet, and it keeps on going around in circles and coming back over as rain. So I think if we stop polluting the water, at least on an individual level, we can definitely then use that water for at least our gardening purposes and flushing of the toilets. Next question is, how do I get spring water into my home, i.e. high quality drinking water, without depleting the valuable resource? Well, you catch it off your roof. You catch it off your roof, you store it in some form of containers, be it tanks or pool or underground reservoirs, but you gotta catch that water. It is so much of it coming down. Catch it, because drinking, really, one doesn't need more than 50 liters a day for a whole family to drink, and so you can start with that. You try and minimize as much water runoff from your property as possible. You catch some of it in tanks, you catch some of it in the ground, you mulch your ground, so for 6 months your ground is moist and juicy. They were able to create food forests in the desert by lining a hole with cardboard and compost, and then you obviously put your tree in there. So if they can do a food forest in the desert, we can create a total abundance heaven here in cities at a click of a finger. Well, it's just smart thinking, some good knowledge and practical applications. How does my off-the-grid living affect others positively? Well, firstly, I love sharing about it. The first hitchhiker I pick up on the side of the road, I drill his ears on how to mulch and how to make a simple garden, and by the time he comes out of my car, I make sure I leave him with a simple thing such as banana grey water pits that could take all your grey water and grow bananas for you. So definitely living off the grid, one starts living closer to nature, and one wants to share with others of this bounty of abundance that I have discovered. Whilst everybody's talking about scarcity and dark times, I believe that we are, yes, the times are dark somewhere, but it's your choice whether you're going to be part of the dark times or whether you're going to be part of the happy abundant times. It is entirely your choice. So living off the grid lessens the impact on the municipal water grid, which they're definitely not coping, and sewage grid, which they're definitely not coping. And obviously one just has a positive impact on the planet and all its creatures and each other. So there is a massive repercussions of living off the grid for you, your family, and much greater circles around you. How do I take care of my water needs without depleting the water table? Well, once again, same answer. You catch it off your roof. You're not sucking it out with borehole. You're catching it off the roof. You're treating it through a really good large-scale filter, low-cost, low-tech, inexpensive filter, which I'm building right now. And you actually, never mind you're not depleting the water table, with the knowledge that I've been sharing, and especially the earthworks, you're able to recharge the water table with 1 million to 2 million liters of water for every rainfall we have in the city. Imagine having that impact per person. 1 million liters of water plus rechargement of groundwater table from one household, from one garden, just by not letting the water run, but creating a little swale on contour line and letting that water drop and sink and infiltrate into the ground. Yeah, massive impact. Never mind depleting the water table. You're actually recharging the water table by being conscious and water wise and being water abundant in your home. I mean, just to give an example, a tree, a cucumber. You know, you eat a cucumber, it came from one seed, and that grows you 20, 30 cucumbers. Each cucumber has 500 seeds in it. You know, each tree has over 10,000 seeds in it. That's the abundance that I'm talking about. It is coded in the very matrix, the very fabric of our reality, is that one seed turns to 10,000. So if you have that methodology applied in your thinking and your living, then abundance can flow to all. I also feel that we need to create self-sustaining organisms in our gardens or little homes that can produce their own clean air, produce their own clean water, catch the water, treat it. Because I do feel that things might get slightly, well, a bit worse before they get better, and that we might experience massive water shortages in the near future. So as I said, whilst I believe that we have a positive future, I'm being realistic, as you know, I can't I can't be responsible for that poop hole about draining his oil from the car into the drain. You know, we just got to share the education, share the wisdom with each other, but ultimately you got to protect your own water, at least on your property. You got to catch your own water, you got to treat your own water, and you got to have your own water backup, because last year the government did run out in Johannesburg. Can't say for other cities, but yeah, then it gets really tough. It can get really nasty and tough out there. So just have your own water. Get a 5,000 liter tank just to start and have it there in the shade standing. You know, something as simple as that. When the grid switches off, you're able to drink. And that is a good feeling to have. So how do I save current water supply? Well, a couple of weeks back I showed you about the wetland that I've made. That's saving me all my bath and shower water. My kitchen water is going through a grease trap, which we're actually building at one of my upcoming workshops together. We are saving probably about 20,000 liters of water a month, just between the couple of strategies that I've made, really low cost strategies, things you can do in 1 weekend, 2 weekends. I'm saving 15,000 liters of water a month just on spending a weekend playing around with a little wetland that I've constructed for under 1,000 Rand. So the question is, who will I have to rely on for continuous water supply? Well, the good news is, or might be bad news, you have to rely on yourself. You have to rely on your own tanks. You have to rely on your own swimming pool. You have to rely on your own underground water reservoir, and you have to rely on the water treatment system that can treat all that water suitable for your home to use. The responsibility is now with you. That is the truth about living self-sustainably. That is not him or her. It is your responsibility to have plenty of water, to use it wisely. It's your choice. Do you sit in front of the TV and complain about the world, or do you come outside and do something proactive about it? Okay, one of the readers stated that his water is brackish, meaning a bit salty. What can you do? I did some research with my water master, who I have studied with, and there are some plants, obviously it will be specific to our country, you might need to speak to a botanist, but there are some plants, such as maybe living close to mangroves perhaps, that can take up the salts and use it for their own growth and leave the water unsalty or less salty. One of the last questions I'm going to cover today, because of time, is the statement is most families are battling for food, never mind increasing their quality of water. How do they do it more cost effectively? Well, that leads me to let you know that the most cost effective way to do this is to do it yourself. Solutions that I'm offering and solutions that I'm teaching you are very easy DIY solutions. I will be teaching them at my workshop. My workshop is coming up super soon, and all future workshops we will produce a water treatment system that I will go and install with my team at a local township or an orphanage home who need that clean water. So in the workshop we'll make up a system, and that system will be installed at an orphanage or underprivileged home where people really need that water. So that's one of the things that I am doing to spread the news about water, is to actually install these systems in other communities. I have an amazing dream about a conscious living center in townships, but I need your support for that. So that's a whole another subject, but if you're willing to help and you've got some extra time, I do have amazing plans to build these training centers in townships. But for now, I'd like to invite you to my workshop that's happening this weekend, so soon. And we'll cover a lot of these different aspects, from constructing a mini wetland hands-on, to making a biochar treatment system, which I learned in Thailand, to how, and I'll show you how I converted the pool into a drinking water reservoir. We'll be constructing a grease trap to trap that kitchen water, and we'll also be doing some earthworks to catch abundance of water in your garden. Scroll below, spaces are running out, leave a comment, and www.alosha.co, go to workshops page and book for a workshop right there and then. And I'm hoping to see you this weekend. Namaste.